Serious concerns were raised about unrestrained cutting of trees that once served as windbreak in the once beautiful garden city of the country. The journalists, most of whom are environmental activists, were only vigilant about the environmental devastation. They just wanted to make a difference and help in greening the city of Kumasi. In total, 75 coconut trees were planted in a one-day exercise with plans to extend the project to other areas. The Ghana Journalists Association, led by its regional chair, Kingsley Hope, and other senior members chose coconut trees because of its diverse benefits. One such is its ability to provide shade, fruits, and income. The location for the plantation was ideal because coconut trees need at least 1 inch of water per watering.
Discussion with KMA, they made us to understand that the site was a buffer zone. And my little understanding of buffer zone, we agreed because we know that it will be protected from high human impact, negative high human impact. And so we wholeheartedly, accepted to do the plantation project there. If I not been KMA giving us, GJA has not the power to just pick up itself and choose a place and then do this. It's a national project because we wanted the place to be a coconut grove in the name of Ghana Journalists Association as our contribution to the fight against climate change and then greening the Kumasi and looking at the location.
2 years on, the journalists would have expected their trees to grow beautifully.
But that is not the case. Structures are being constructed on the land known as wetland because of its high level of saturation. Assuming these coconut trees were alive, they would have provided what only nature can give: oxygen and fruits. But it is just what it is.
We are not a serious country, we are not a serious people, because we know how important tree is to life, tree is to health, tree is to everything. So if somebody can just go and cut it off, we have Regional Security Council here, and even where the tree was planted, it's right within a security zone area because it's a buffer zone, but nobody seemed to know who did it. Nobody seemed to have called the person who did it to order or brought him or her to order. So it means we aren't a serious country, and I wouldn't waste my time honestly or spend time to say that I'm joining the Ghana Journalists Association to plant trees. Maybe a different project I'll join, but to plant trees I'll not join because I know that tree will be cut off one day by a rich person.
Even when citizens are willing to plant trees, many are concerned about how these trees would survive. So it was not just tree planting, it was also protecting them from human pressure. The destruction of the trees came as a shock to the journalists. They feel the association has been betrayed in its effort to green Asante Mine and mitigate the effects of climate change.
And surprisingly, the KMA also said they were not even aware that such an activity had taken place in terms of the cutting down of the trees. It was very sad indeed, because of course we pride ourselves to be the garden city of West Africa, and the call had been, how do we restore this enviable position of Kumasi? But for you to take this initiative, you invest your time, some resources into the plantation, and then within a twinkle of an eye, everything is cut down. It's really sad. It was really something that everybody wasn't excited about.
Sadly, the 10 coconut trees planted at the press center did not survive the weather.
Planted some here, but unfortunately, you even be the best person to answer the question you are posed to me, because this is your field and you know what goes into sustain. It's not just mere plantation or planting the material, be it economic or non-economic. It needs to be sustained, and sustenance here or sustainability here is voluminous. Your time, commitment to ensure they grow. And so I am a working person, a full-time working journalist with Ghana New Times Corporation. I'm the regional correspondent. So you know how the job is involving. I could not always get the time to be coming here to do the watering. That was why the major project was done at where the water was available for us. Here we needed to do some hiring for the watering and others, but funds was not coming from anywhere.
About 50% of journalists in the Ashanti region are environmental activists. Things that bother nature disturb them too.
I've always maintained as a climate activist that this is a call for action for everybody when it comes to protection of the environment. And I expect that even if you want to develop any construction project, it's ideal that you think green. How do you manage the environment in a way that you can still plan your initiative without adversely affecting the greens?
I bought 75 of the coconut trees, 65 there and then 10 here. But the palm trees were planted before the coconuts.
I sought to find answers from the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly's environmental officer, Isaac Basayin, who, according to Hope, gave the go-ahead to have the trees planted around the riverbank. The team's efforts were not successful, as the officer says he was busy planning ahead of the Green Ghana project.
Recommended a land or site which was a water-bodied area. He made us to understand that it was a buffer zone.
When the last tree dies, they say the last man also dies. But how can Ghanaians ensure there will be thousands of trees, even if it is one person that survives in the country? Hope, Beatrice and Dumfe say it is not just a matter of tree planting anymore. The bigger chunk of the work comes after each tree gets into the soil. In the last decade, there have been concerted efforts to green Kumasi. In 2014, the Kumasi Urban Forestry Project, Me and My Tree, marked the beginning of a green revolution. Project focused on greening Kumasi by way of planting more trees to replace the lost green vegetation. At least 1 million trees were expected to be planted by 2017. 7 years later, residents, including media practitioners, say the exercise was not successful.
The challenge has always been how deep the efforts that they undertake go, and how they involve the ordinary citizenry to be part of these efforts. I think that knowing that their time will come for them to leave power, it is important that when they embark on such initiative, they make it the initiative to be owned by the people.
For me, the planting of trees over the years has not been successful because the aim of improving urban forestry has not been achieved. What do we see in recent times? Kumasi is fast losing its green spaces to infrastructure development. The city has literally become a concrete.
The targets of tree planting that were supposed to be achieved by 2017 seem to be back on the starting line. When I interviewed the KMA boss a few weeks ago, Osei Asibe Entry indicated the assembly is encouraging residents to plant as many trees as they can.
They can grow as many. The demand is any number they want, we will provide. We are not limited by numbers.
The question remains, will the tree planting projects efficiently manage to achieve a green city for sustainable living? A report by Mohamed Nuruddin.